thoughts are like birds chattering away. I mean, I spent most of my life with the mind chattering away 24/7, and a lot of what the mind was saying was different versions of I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm a failure, I'm ugly, I'm a waste of space. It was just constantly, like all day. And of course, what you do, you try everything to stop these thoughts. You try and distract it. That's why so many addictions. You try and distract yourself. You run away. You numb yourself. You try and eat the thoughts away. You drink the thoughts away. You try and meditate the thoughts away. I want to have a silent mind. You try and silence the thoughts, and then they get louder. The more you try and silence them, the louder they get. And you start to panic because you reach that point of breaking again. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. Until you start to realize that these thoughts are just like sounds. These are birds singing. There's the bird that sings I'm a failure, and there's the bird that sings I'm a waste of space, and there's the bird that sings I fucked up. That's a very common bird. The I fucked up bird. It sings and it sings and it sings and it sings. And they're birds singing, and sometimes it helps just to make these thoughts into like little cartoons, into like humanize them or make them into animals, or whatever works. Just to help you see that they are just sounds. They are just thoughts. They're not reality, and they're not the truth. And ultimately, they're not you. And I think this is easier to see with sounds. It's very easy to see with you're sitting there in meditation. You know the sounds just come and go. So you know on a deeper level that they're not you, because you are the one who witnesses, you are the one who sees, you are the one who notices the sounds appearing and disappearing. It's actually the same with thoughts. The thoughts aren't you. You are the one who notices, who sees, you are the witness of the thoughts. Just like pictures on a movie screen. The pictures aren't the truth, they're not reality, but they are pictures.
Yes, sometimes I can see that, but sometimes I just believe them and I go totally in the story.
Yeah. So it's a real habit. And don't forget as well, thoughts are only trying to protect you. Thoughts are not the enemy either. These are brilliant thoughts, actually. These are infinitely creative. I was saying this yesterday. Infinitely creative, brilliant thoughts that were only ever trying to protect you, right? Because as a very young kid, you cannot blame your parents. It's too terrifying. It's too unsafe. It's too unsafe. When you're very, very young, it's too unsafe to blame mummy and daddy. They can't be bad. It must be you. Kids always blame themselves. They internalize the shame. Because otherwise the universe is just too unsafe if mummy and daddy are bad. It's too unsafe. It's unbearable. So you can't go there as a kid. So you have to attack yourself as a kid. I must be bad. I'm the one who's fucked up. So these thoughts are, in a way, they're trying to protect you from a much greater terror of being alone in an unsafe universe. If you're the bad one, then the universe is basically safe. If the mummy and daddy are bad when you're very young, the universe is basically unsafe. So don't forget, thoughts, even those thoughts that say I'm bad, I'm wrong, I fucked up, I fucked up. Don't forget, those thoughts may have saved your life. It's like these basic things we were never really taught. And it's not about blaming your parents, because they didn't know either. They couldn't find this love within themselves. No one had ever taught them. This is not blaming my mother. Like, no one had ever taught her how to stay with her own anxiety, her own discomfort. So she lost her ground, and it was save that one. So then this one never learns how to, it's safe. It's amazing how this runs through the generations, this basic fear of life, and her mother and her mother, father, mother, throughout the generations. So it comes to you to start to break the spell, break the karma, to end the abuse, which begins with self-abuse. We only abuse others because we're abusing ourselves on some level. So then you never learn to trust yourself. So mine has been just really a journey of ever deepening trust in my own experience, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a bit of a mess. It just wants to be allowed. It's not. So you're beginning to untangle the pain from the feelings of failure. They're actually two different things. They're not the same thing. You actually disentangle the discomfort and the pain from the failure. They're actually two distinct things. So you're able to hold them both. Doesn't mean they go away overnight. Maybe they never go away, but it doesn't matter anymore. Because now you can hold them both like your children. Whenever pain arises, you can distinguish, this is pain, and there's a feeling of failure. You see, then you're not a victim. Then you're not controlled by these feelings, because you're able to hold them. When you're able to hold a feeling, you're not controlled by it. Even if it's uncomfortable, you're not controlled by it. So then, because you're no longer identified, there may still be a feeling of failure, but you can hold that. You can be actually excited to feel failure. You can actually be excited and curious. What's it like? It's a feeling. It was always a feeling, you see. It was never a fact. It's just a feeling of failure. What you are is not a failure. What you are is not a success either, by the way. Sorry about that.
Shit.
But these labels were always too small for you. Any label is too small for you. Because you are the sky, the wide open space, the presence.